All across America this July 4th, Americans of all stripes will be celebrating the nation's independence. But just how will they be celebrating? What will they be eating? For some, it may be a classic cookout in the backyard. Others, a refreshing drink by the pool. Today, however, we will join this lovely homemaker for her idea for an Independence Day treat.
Why, hello, and welcome to our humble home. My name is ElfMom. Come on in. When thinking about Independence Day, keep things simple. And what's more simply American than a classic apple pie? So while your husband tends to the hot dogs, you can make this delicious treat. It's quite simple, really. So for the filling, you'll need, first off, 6 to 7 apples. Peel, cored, sliced 1/4-inch thick. A mix of Granny Smith and Golden Honeycrisp works best. You're going to put your apple slices in a bowl and toss them together with about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This will keep them from getting brown. So you'll put that bowl aside, and in another bowl, you're going to mix 1/2 cup of white sugar and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Along with a teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, as well as a pinch of salt. From there, you'll add 2 to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. This will be our thickener. And finally, 2 tablespoons of butter. Now, before you get started with anything to do with your filling, you're going to need a pie crust. Now, there's no shame in using one of those fancy supermarket pre-made ones, but if you want to make it yourself, it's actually quite simple. First off, you'll need 2½ cups of flour. To that, you'll add a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of sugar, a cup of cold butter, cubed and chilled, and 6 to 8 tablespoons of ice-cold water. Using a dough cutter, you're just going to mash that butter into your flour until you get the consistency of rough, shaggy crumbs or peas. Then you get to adding your water, tablespoon at a time, and get in there with your hands. You're going to mix it until you get a nice dough that will hold its shape when you pinch it. Once that's done, you can divide it into 2 balls, wrap them in plastic, and put them in your refrigerator until you need them, at least ½ an hour. So let's make that filling. You're going to take all those filling ingredients and you're going to place them in your skillet. Leave them 15 to 30 minutes. That'll let some of the juices come out of the apple. Then, over medium heat, cook it 5 to 8 minutes, or until it's bubbling and starts to thicken. The apple should be slightly soft. Make sure to cool it to room temperature before you add it to your crust. So once your filling is cooled, it's time to assemble our pie. First, make sure to set your oven to 400 degrees. While that's heating, we can put together our crust. So we'll be using a 9-inch pie dish today, so you'll want to roll out your dough to at least 10 inches. Now, I find that a good way to get the right measurement is to take your pie dish and flip it over. Gives you a good idea of how far around you need to cut. Regardless, you're going to roll out your dough and put it in the dish. Once you've poured your filling into the bottom crust, you'll want to roll out the top crust, lay it on top, cut around the edges, of course, and then crimp it. Now, you can do this by hand by simply pinching the edges and rolling them over. Or you can flatten them down with a fork and then trim the excess with a knife. Once your pie is assembled, make sure to cut some vents on the top. You can brush it with some egg and then place it in your oven for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you're going to reduce the temperature to 350 degrees and then bake it for an additional 30 to 40 minutes until the top is golden and bubbling. Make sure to cool the finished pie for a few hours. This will allow the pie filling to firm up.
And there you have it, a wonderful apple pie, fit for the proudest 4th of July table. A simple pleasure, lovingly made, just like Mother used to.